Are prices going down? Can homebuyers get a better deal in 2026 than they got in previous years? Everyone's asking about prices and they're wondering, is the market falling? Is there a big price change? Before I give you all of the insight into this, I do have a bunch of caveats that I believe around this slide, but I think it's true data, and you've probably seen some news headlines that are either talking about how the prices are not changing or the prices are going up, or you've heard news headlines that prices are falling and buyers can get a better deal. The news is always spinning the deal based on the specific fact that makes sense for their story, but I think we should debunk why you can get different stats based on the same data. You can see that in the orange states, Texas, Colorado, Arizona, California, Florida, and Vermont, prices went down. Year over year, meaning quarter three 2025 versus quarter three 2024, the median price changed by that percentage, 0.6, 0.3, 0.1, which is very small changes, right? If we were even at 1% on a median price of $400,000, that's $4,000. Very small change, basically flat. And then in some of these states, they went up higher. They went up by 1 or 2 or 3%, right? So there was a small increase in some of the states. And you see that in general, if you took the whole national average, you'd get 2.3%. So someone could pitch the story in the United States, prices are up 2%, right? Okay, well, that's a low increase for the United States. We generally appreciate about 4% per year, but 2.3, that's not bad. We didn't lose money. It didn't go down. But then you could take the spin. Certain states, prices are down, right? Prices are down. What, prices are down 0.1%? Well, that's kind of an interesting stat. Like that down, like I don't know if 0.1%, that's $400 down on a median price. Like maybe that's not that significant. That sounds about flat, right? But then that doesn't even tell the story of the specific metro areas, because inside of each of those states or inside of that whole country, it's an average of, or the average of all those various communities. So there's wider swings inside of specific areas. So I'd be curious, what's happening in your specific metropolitan area? What's happening in your town or city? And were the prices up 3, 5, 10%? Or were they one of the cities that might have been down 3, 5, or 10%? Now, the other thing that I think is really interesting is this is year over year. So we're comparing the quarter three to quarter three, right? So that's a fairly fair comparison. But if you're a buyer and you're looking for a deal, you don't necessarily care about, well, are prices the same they were last year? You might, just for the stability sake, you want to know about the general market stability. But what you really want to know is, when's the best time I can get a deal? Here's what I found in looking at prices, specifically in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. Even in some of the neighborhoods or even some of the smaller communities, prices increased from January to July. And then from July to December, they went down. And they went down about the same amount that they went up from January to July, but maybe even by 1%, they went down more, right? December was actually better prices than January in this specific year in 2025. Which means that in going into 2026, you're sitting at a better position with the lower interest rates and also the slightly lower prices, that January, February, March, the early spring, is one of the best times to buy a home. You're getting the double benefit, the double affordability benefit of lower prices and more purchasing power because of the lower interest rates. But the problem that happens is when people start to realize prices are down, there's more opportunity, interest rates are in a better situation, more buyers will enter the market. That will cause competition and prices will go back up. Now, the forecasters for 2026 are saying that prices should not go up crazy, but if I'm a home buyer, I would be looking for, when are the moments when the least amount of buyers are paying attention, when everyone's a little bit nervous, that I might be able to buy a home and save $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000, or maybe not even about the savings on price, but about negotiating additional concessions from the seller that affect my cash in pocket. And that's one of the things we analyze when we're putting together offers for our buyers. How do we get them the best position and make sure that they're locked in on a great deal, both interest rate and purchase price and all their other cash benefits that come with the transaction? If you want to get more information about this or have a consultation with us, you can text us at 972-677-3991, 972-677-3991. We'd love to work with you on deciding when to buy, how to buy, and what strategies to use to get the best deal in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex.